Hey basketball coaches, players, and fans. Today I am going to be breaking down the LA Clippers offense and how they run their sets, and of course, how you can become a better team and player on the offensive side. So let's get down to the clipboard. Let's check out the LA Clippers. So the one thing that we see a lot of with the LA Clippers is early offense screen and rolls. So what we have here is a quick screen and pop. This is not a roll, but a screen and pop. And how this is able to work is because now there's no offensive player on this side of the court. Essentially, they were running a 5-out offense early. This player comes up, sets that screen for that ball handler, the point guard. He then uses that screen and then he drives and attacks the basket. Now, with his full head of steam as a player, when you are attacking the net, you need to go at 100% your speed. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, you'll probably have a wide open layup. Number two, if there is a player, especially at the older age groups, if you're in grade 11, grade 12, and you're driving towards the basket and a player has nothing or no ability to stop you, they are going to get out of your way at the older level because they don't want to be dunked on like this guy almost was. Now, another thing that the Clippers do a lot is they try to feed the ball into the middle of the paint. And what does this do for us? Whether the other team is running a zone defense or a man-to-man, this usually collapses multiple players in on that paint player. The reason for that is basically nobody wants a basket in the key. And what can we do about this? Well, first off, the wing players, they need to be cutting baseline when that happens, because if their defender comes down and double teams that low post player, you're going to have wide open layups or dunks in this case. But what started this was Dwight Howard's inability to play wing defense on somebody other than a center, and he's up on his heels, and of course Kawhi Leonard is able to take advantage. Now, a nice quick play that you could run out of a 5-out offense. So we've got these 5 players, our centers up top, we've got our wing, this player is cutting down towards this corner. And what we're doing here is having the center screen for our wing, and then one of the wing players from this side is setting a screen for this player. Essentially, this player is going to be cutting baseline, possibly getting open over here, and then Kawhi Leonard is going to be popping up top. This is actually a great simple play to run if you're running the 5-out as a team. So what we have here is Kawhi Leonard. He really knows how to use a screen. He starts going in this direction so that he could set up that screen, and then he pops off, technically pushes off, and then uses that screen to get an open shot. Now this one bounces in. Now, another set that we see a lot of, especially with Kawhi Leonard, is he will have that ball somewhere around the key, and then he kicks that ball out to a wing or a three-point line player. But then he goes and screens for the player who he then passed to. In this case, it looks like Paul George. But now that player will kick that ball out. And what we do see him starting to do, but this is a strategy that you could run as a team, is called the 5-out drive and screen 4, which is when you drive the ball towards the paint, pass the ball out, and then set a screen on that player who you pass to, so that now that player can drive towards the basket and kick that ball out and screen for that next player. And you can keep on doing that until you have an open shot, which we have here because of the original Kawhi Leonard drive and screen out. But what we do have is a nice wide open 3-point shot, or at least a slightly contested but not really 3-point shot. So something else that we see with the LA Clippers quite often is when we have the center screen or back screen for a wing or a guard. Now, what we have here is their center setting a screen for what looks to be Patrick Beverley, And it's not really, I call this a brush screen. So what it basically does is it gets a player in between your teammate's defender, and because of this, it looks like he's going to be sending a screen up top, and he just might have been. But I call this a brush screen myself, mainly because you are not necessarily screening for that player, but you are in between that player's defender and your teammate, who can then get that ball and get a nice quick shot. Now, to do this player needs to be quick with his pass. He needs to have a strong pass. If you are a coach looking to run something similar, you can have a 5-out offense, have this low player almost screen, but just brush screen, where essentially at the free throw line extended, this player needs to be in between the defender and the shooter, and because of that, you can get a quick pass over to make that 3-point shot. Now, I hope that this insight has helped you as a coach or a player or as a team. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.